Stanislaw Robert Anderson, known as Stan, was born in Dunedin in 1916. He was a descendant of pioneers who had arrived in Otago on the Blundell in 1848. Stan was educated at Forbury, Palmerston and Musselburgh primary schools, and then attended King Edward Technical College. He then became a grocer's assistant in South Dunedin, living at home in St Kilda with his parents and two younger sisters. In his spare time, Stan was a very good amateur wrestler. When war was declared in September 1939, Stan volunteered immediately and became a private in the first echelon of the 2nd New Zealand Expeditionary Force. His 4-figure service number, 9445, was a point of pride within 2 NZEF in later years. Stan sailed for Egypt in January 1940 as a member of 9 Platoon of 3 Company of the 27th Machine Gun Battalion. They trained for the rest of 1940 in Egypt and in April 1941 were sent to Greece. This was the New Zealand Division's first active engagement of the war, but unfortunately it was in a campaign that was doomed to fail from the outset. British political commitments to Greece required a show of force to assist that country against an expected German invasion, but the military resources supplied were to prove grossly inadequate, especially the lack of air cover. The New Zealanders, spearheading the Allied force, found themselves during April 1941 fighting a defensive withdrawal through the Greek mainland against overwhelming enemy forces. Stan was among the machine gunners evacuated directly to Egypt. Others were taken on to the island of Crete, where they were to once more be overwhelmed by German forces following an airborne invasion on 20 May. The New Zealand troops put up a tenacious though unsuccessful defence of Crete, and many had to be left behind to become prisoners, while others managed to make it to the coast where they were evacuated by the Royal Navy. The survivors from the campaigns on Greece and Crete were given a week's leave, which Stan and many others spent in Palestine. They were back in action from November 1941 in a sequence of tough desert battles across North Africa, including at Sidi Rezegh, Mersa Matruh, Minkar Kayam, Ruizat Ridge, and finally, Alamein. Stan was killed in action during the Second Battle of Alamein, the battle in which the British 8th Army finally reversed the tide of the war against the German Afrika Korps. Stan was just 26. The battalion's official history describes the action.
The 26th Battalion went back over the ridge before the barrage began at 10 o'clock. A supply column for 10 Armoured Division was packed close together near a minefield gap behind the ridge. Possibly it was going to refuel the tanks which had not yet gone forward, when a truck near the front was set on fire by a shell or mortar bomb. This attracted enemy aircraft, which came over singly to bomb the vehicles carrying ammunition, petrol and troops. A stick of bombs caught 9 Platoon, which had been ordered forward from 24 Battalion to support the 26th, and had dispersed on clear ground. A gun truck was destroyed, and Privates Anderson, Kidd, James and Wood were killed, and Medland and Macmillan were mortally wounded and died of wounds the next day.
Stan is buried with these comrades at the Alamein War Cemetery in Egypt.